Hello everyone and welcome back to the GP2 official highlights here at the Hockenheimring for the German Grand Prix of GP2, the offline championship. My name is Oliver Glazebrook and I'm your host for today. Last week we had a technical issue, meaning we didn't have any commentary on the thing, so I am deeply sorry for that. It was a technical thing that we couldn't deal with. We tried to deal with it, but we thought it was best that we just upload the non-commentated to get it up to date, so there was no delay here for you guys. But we're back here today. Welcome. The commentary box here is lovely. It's nice and air conditioned, and we've got a fantastic track ahead of us. I mean, only 16 corners, but some very long straights, so overtaking should be very interesting. Turns 2, 3 and 4, very tight and nitty gritty. 5, 6, 7 and 8, all close to each other as well, along with 9, 10 and 11. Going to be some braking points there, so we could see some overtakings going into them corners. 12 through to 16 is a tight area of the track that you might be familiar from Formula 1, but other than that, this is an older layout of the track, and it's much more high speed, but whether or not it's better, we'll have to wait and see. But let's get straight into the grid, shall we, for this Grand Prix. So let's have a look then, shall we, at who takes the top spot for this Grand Prix. My apologies there. So on pole was Robert Hunter for Trident, back on the top step from Luca Farin in Arden. Third place was William Duncan for Supernova. Rick Farizan, the championship leader, he's in 4th. Lucas Levi, he's in 5th, with Bruno de Barros in the ART in 6th position. 7th position then is David Greenwood representing the Racing Engineering team. Michael Vortiger then makes the top 8 for the Dams team. In 9th position is Patrick Juhas. He is in 10th, for PK Grand Prix. 10th is Gabriel Gomez, who is in for the Trident team, making the top 10 there. 11th position, Mario McCleary. He's in 11th position for FMS. Alongside him is Jeffrey Fingai for Supernova. 13th position is Mario Rossi, with 14th position Joseph Molnar for Ocean Grand Prix. Javier Quinlan for Ice Sports International, he's in 15th. 16th is Daniel Prizigoda for the Arden team, he's in 16th. Franco Gamba, he's in 17th, with Sean Grant in 18th for the Ocean team. Glazebrook in 19th position for the ART, with Sasha Banks in 20th position. And at the back row of the grid we have Franco Lopez in 21st, and in 22nd place Robin Keeles for FMS. So that is your grid then for the Hockenheim, here at Hockenheim for the German Grand Prix. 14 laps ahead of us. There's some long laps, so sit back, relax, get yourself a refreshing cold drink, and let's get started here for GP2 of the offline championship. And the weather here then, bright and sunny as expected. It's going to be a fantastic Grand Prix. The conditions here are beautiful at Hockenheim. A lovely bright day outside, so we'll be looking forward to some good racing. No rain interfering, meaning some high speed will be reached by these cars, so we'll be seeing plenty of overtaking hopefully, and there could be an opportunity for some high speed crashes as well. But here we are then on the grid. We've got Robert Hunter on your right hand side, with Farin on the left hand side. We are going now for 5 red lights. The grandstands are packed out for later on the Grand Prix. 5 red lights and we are away here. It seems to be a decent start for Hunter there, but Farin going to go up the inside. I think going to try and make it go side by side. Going to go side by side into turn 1. Farin gets up the inside, I think, of Hunter, going into turn 1. Does so well. Now going down this long straight. So this is going to be a very long straight. Now Hunter having to defend. You can see how long this goes on for. Farina, is leading at the moment, but she's going to have a gaggle of cars behind her. They're all going to now go in formation, but then looking up the inside now is a storming car through the pack. Now four cars going abreast now. This could end up in some chaos now. Behind, you'll see, look, going side by side, everyone into the first braking zone. Hunter goes back up into the lead with Farina in 2nd position and Duncan in 3rd position. I believe Levi is now 4th. Greenwood is... oh no, that might be Farizan, sorry. So that might be Farizan. No, it's Farina. Farizan is down into 6th position. Juhas in 7th. De Barros 8th. And then so on and so forth. McCleary in 9th. And now they're all just going to keep chopping and changing as we go into these braking zones. Long straights with very sharp braking zones. It's going to throw up some overtaking. It's going to be a cluster for these cars to spread out at the moment. They're now going side by side now into this long right-hander, as you can see, going through the grid now. There seems to be no contact on these early stages, so good driving from the drivers so far now as making our way through the grid. So there you can see Hunter now starting to pull away then from Duncan. as they're now going side by side. A little bit of a lock up there. Is there any contact there? I'm not sure. Farazan now, the championship leader, making a slight mistake now, but still on the back of the car ahead, which is Zhu has now. Going to try and use the slipstream to get an advantage. You can see that the gap that Hunter is starting to pull away, and you can see, look to the cars there, so they are starting to spread out a little bit now. You can see that consistencies are starting to form up the inside. There goes Farazan, looking for the move, nicely and cleanly done. A little bit of a curb use there, and that's going to please the fans in the background now as they come into this tight, nitty-gritty section of the track now. Hunter pulling away as expected, with Farazan trying to catch up to probably one of his championship rivals at this stage. Hunter had a very good start to the season but has dropped off recently, but we're looking to get back onto the top step of the podium at the moment and is doing the right thing so far to get there. As you can see, setting the fast lap of the race so far with Farina there. Levi now looking up the inside of William Duncan, not going to be able to make it do, so they're going to have to get bare X out of this corner now, using the curve to their maximum. Now, using the slipstream down into this long straight covered up with trees. It's a beautiful section, very similar to Monza, with the forest built around there in Spa as well. Now, Volker going off the track there. Was there any contact made there? So let's have a look now. Volker in 13th position, going defensive up the inside. Any cars going around the outside? Oh no, a car's gone at the inside there. Didn't expect to see that. Let's see if we can get a replay from the other car's point of view. I'm not sure who that was. That seems... Oh no! Oh god, blimey. So Kieles is out of the race, and sorry, I believe it was Pires Goda. So let's have a look now. Glazebrook is there. No, it's Kieles now up the inside. Going side by side there. Glazebrook as well. I'm not sure if there's any contact there. We'll have to get a POV, but there's Pires Goda. Now, is that Grant up the inside? No, he's just gone off wide himself there, so didn't have to deal with the car ahead. There's another car ahead that's also gone off the track. There goes Pires Goda. There goes Kieles as well. So cars just making mistakes going into turn 1 there, unable to judge what is the good side-by-side position and back out. So interesting driving there, and there's been some crashes early on, so the men being separated from the boys in this situation. And turn 1 is a very high-speed corner, of course, one of the more difficult corners on this track. One of the only corners, really, when you think about it, the only actual near 90-degree corners on this track. So yeah, it's going to definitely separate the men from the boys now, as Greenwood now having to have a battle with Farazan to try and hold on to this 5th position at the moment. Farazan trying to make his way back through the grid now. Lockups forming behind them though. The cars are moving into formation as it goes now. Side-by-side action in the back there from Banks and Lopez now as they go side-by-side. Up the inside now goes Glazebrook maybe. No, he's going to back out of that one as well. So the cars are starting to field through. There's some definite overtaking, so it's not a dull race so far. It's been actually quite interesting compared to other races where it's just been trundling through. Limited overtaking, but all these long straights mean the cars can duck in the slipstream. Late braking moves, and there'll be interesting overtakes, and there's definitely going to be some crashes as well throughout this race now. As you can see, a slight look up ahead there from Banks is now Rossi, I believe that is. Oh no, sorry, we're on board with Banks, sorry, the car ahead, I'm not sure who it is, but Rossi's behind Banks now and starting to pull away there is Banks. But Hunter continuing to extend his lead at the moment, doing a very good job from Farina, Levi, Duncan and Farazan making the top 5 there so far. We'll see 6th position very shortly. But Hunter doing a good job. 6th position is Greenwood. Then Zhu has McCleary, Fingai and De Barros make the top 10. Obviously, only the top 8 get points if you're new around here. Farina now starting to claw back in that gap there to Hunter. 2 tenths there from 1.9 to 1.7, so a gap is definitely being brought in. Greenwood now having to defend. There he goes wide, side by side. Will he lose a wheel? I think he's just kept it going there, so he's actually gone through a ghost steward there at the moment. Oh, he's dangerously rejoined there. Very dangerous driving now. He's going to start trundling down positions now. The Ocean car now going to look to go up the inside probably, but we'll hopefully get a replay later of what happened to Greenwood. I think he just again there didn't know the track limits and couldn't push as much as he would like, so he's dropped out of the points at this point in time. Levi. So a lot of these drivers have to be careful really, because that could seemingly become a recurrence, and you can see the amount of positions gained already. Some impressive performances from Molnar, Fingai, 4 and 5 positions gained as well, with McCleary, who's up into P6 at the moment now, who is actually currently battling now with Juhaz, and now Juhaz looking to get up the inside, and it's nicely done. Juhaz moves up past McCleary, and it's a clean little move there. We're going to continuously see these sort of things happening though. Don't expect this to be the only overtake of the race, because it's going to continue to happen throughout this. We're already on lap 3 of this Grand Prix, and there's been some good action, so the time could slowly chip away. But we've obviously got Farina and Hunter, who could be having a battle later on the race, hopefully, if they continue this good battle, good pace from both of them at the moment, with Farina just closing in on Hunter as we now go into this tight section. The more historic part of Hockenheim, this massive dome-style section of the track. The grandstand's curving around the corner, as you can see on your right-hand side now, and this long, colourful, clockwise grandstand you'll see here on your left-hand side of your screens, and also dead straight as well. Beautiful mapping around the track, and it's a lovely little section, and it really does brighten up your day with what's going on. But it seems like Levi is also gaining on Farina as well, but at the moment, nothing really happening at the top of the pack. Farizan now is also gaining, so there's the fastest lap from him, and that's going to be interesting as well because he could be in for it. Fingai now battling for this last points position with Molnar, so this is going to be interesting. The last points on offer now. Molnar is going to be looking to go up the inside of Fingai now, going down into this long Monza-esque part of the track now. There's another car in the background also going up. This is what we're seeing a lot of. Mimicking moves up the inside. It's been a good overtaking spot so far. Round this just chinky, this little cheeky little right-hander, late on the braking, and Molnar moves up into the points position now, and De Barros as well. I think he's in P10 still, so he could have some company behind him, but he'll be looking to jump on the bandwagon as well to maybe get them last points positions. You're going to start seeing the pack actually show their true pace at this point in time. Seems to be no close gaggle of cars at the moment, but they're going to continue to just bunch up a little bit now. As you can see there, into the braking zones, they're going to bunch up, but on the straights will naturally spread out as expected, as that is just physics itself. Rossi in P16 at the moment, dropping down quite a lot now from where you'd expect. At the start of the season, a lot of people thought Rossi would be a championship contender. Not really made up that, not really hit that potential so far. Everyone's been quite disappointed with Rossi, and yeah, so the only DNF so far is Prozagoda, and a big lock up there. I believe that's from Banks as well. It's a very big lock up there. So, but on the back of Rossi's on the back of Banks now, so that could be an interesting moment. But Farina doesn't seem to have caught up to Hunter that much. He seems to be maintaining that gap. So Hunter doing a good job at the moment. And as we're now coming into lap 5, you can see it's a very quick lap, of course. Not a long lap, because obviously there's not corners to slow them down. It's just a very, very long circuit. Compared to Spa, if you just had Spa as a straight two corners track, for example, like an oval, it doesn't actually take up that much space. It's the actual length of the track. If you actually had them at top speed, they'd probably do it in about a minute and 30 seconds. But it's the corners that do cause the majority of the extensions of time. Now up the inside, there look to be De Barros off. There he goes. Unable to understand how to brake there, and it's happened to other drivers. He's not the first and only person. Should have backed out of the move, knew the car was going up the inside, and it's poor driving, and the ART has gone from P10 now down into P21 shortly, I believe. So unless he's out of the race, he beats the car. So no, it's just there's P21, and he's able to get going again. But that is theoretically his race ruined now as he enters his first stages of lap 5. But Hunter now actually being closed in by Farina. You can actually see that gap slowly getting a lot smaller. So this could be an interesting battle sooner or later. The top of the pack is going to continue to spread out, and there's going to be changes throughout this. And you can see now there's a gaggle of cars for P10 as Gomez now, as could be 3 abreast going into the corner. Gomez holding it up. Grant now looking up the inside. There goes Banks as well up the inside of Gamba, which will bring Ross and Glazebrook into this battle as well. A good little battle here, I believe, for 10th and maybe 11th. So they're all keeping close to each other now, using the slipstream, going under the Vodafone side now, past the trees, this lovely woodland section. Going to be making up to 7th gear now. Isn't he going to go for a late braking move at the inside? Looks like Banks looks for it. Glazebrook up the inside of Rossi, late braking up the inside. Think he's going to make it stick, and he does so, moving up into P15. So this gaggle of cars is going to be a very interesting source of overtaking. If 2 cars ahead then make mistakes or go off track, they're going to be there to pick up the pieces. So this is actually a very important battle now. There goes a car up the inside. Banks defending aggressively now, squeezing up the inside, backs out of it though, goes Gamba. So he's now going to have to try and use this long right-hander now as they come into this tight nitty-gritty section. We could see another car going off the track here very shortly as they go side by side into turn 1. Hunter now going on to lap 6, continuing his charge. The gap is actually now down to 6 tenths, 4 tenths gained there from Farina, so we could be seeing a move at the inside now if Hunter isn't careful. Now we'll hopefully get a view of Farina now, but I think Farina, if you look in the, if you do look in the mirrors, you can see he's slightly gaining on there. Is Farina going to look for a move at the inside, up into 7th gear for Hunter, maxing out now, going down this little chinky little right corner. Now going to break into the late braking zone just under the Foster's sign, no move up the inside, and Farina is unable to go for anything there. Levi also continuing to put his push, I believe now. Farizan is also catching. The more points Farizan gets, the closer he becomes to becoming GP2 champion, and he'll be hoping to get that done as quickly as possible. But 1/10 only gained there from Levi. And the gaggle of cars behind, we won't be able to see, but you can see there just now Lopez is gained a position. Now Grant is holding up this pack now. He's in 13th. Has there been a little bit of contact from anyone there? No. So it's just these gaggle of cars are continuing to field their way through. Now up the inside now goes Gamba, looking up the inside of Grant there in the Oceans car. Going to try and keep it side by side, going into this right-hand corner now, braking later. Glazebrook going to look maybe to take advantage. No, can't do anything there, but he's got to keep an eye on Rossi behind as well. Now Grant continuing to try and get a better exit out there to make an attack back on the car, but he's going to have to look behind him as the ART is going to be trying to get it down there. So now as the slipstream is used, going to look for a little move at the inside. We'll see if they go for any late. Anyone going up the inside? There goes a car now up the inside as expected. I think he's going up the inside. It's Gamba on Grant as well. Oh no, sorry, that's Glazebrook on Grant, sorry. So Glazebrook now moving up into 14th on Grant. So Grant is dropping like a fly at the moment, and now he's got Rossi behind him to keep an eye on, along with Lopez. So he's going to have to try and get that done as quickly as possible if Rossi wants to now. There goes Rossi. He's going to go around the outside, I think, which will turn slightly into the inside now as they go late into this very tight right-hand corner. Doesn't normally end well, but it's a beautiful little move up the inside there. Just holds it off, and Grant is not having a good race, and he is at the moment the whipping boy of this midfield pack, who are all looking to scrape into the points. And now look at this. Hunter is going to have to defend sharpish now, as he's going to be holding up Farina now. This is going to be the battle for the lead now at last on lap 7 of 14. Up the inside he goes. Going to go side by side, Farina and Hunter, for the race lead of this Grand Prix. Side by side, going down this long right-hander. Hunter, it's going to be a case of who can brake latest, who's got the biggest balls in this situation. Late on the braking, little switchy move there, and there's Farina, but Hunter will be coming back at him. We're using slipstream now to try and keep up to date now. This is going to be important from Hunter. Needs to get a good exit out of this corner. Sticks it in the slipstream. Seems to have the more pace now, going down into this long track. Up the inside he goes. He's going to look for the move once again, so they're just going to keep squabbling these positions. This is what the slipstream does. If you get in it nicely, you could well. As you can see there, Grant losing a position now, and Hunter goes back up into first position there. So this could be a just chop and change situation, which will actually bring Levi and Farizan into this. So we could have a four-way battle for the race lead here at the moment now. But Hunter seems to have broken that slipstream, and Farina's going to struggle to get past him on this lap. You can see the gap there, but he might have to keep an eye on the cars behind, which is Farizan and Levi. And you can see all four cars within a very short gap. It looks about just 2 seconds that separates them four cars now as they come into this tight section, which could open up for the last opportunity for Farina if they want to get past him. But it's been a good battle here for the leaders, so no one's storming away like previous races that we've seen, like at Bahrain for example. Very good racing so far, but Levi and Farizan have not been close to each other just yet, so these two squabbling could bring them to closer, which could see us have a four-way battle, which would be very, very interesting for the race lead here. As they continue now at the end of lap 7, halfway point of the race has been reached, and Farina will be looking to continue their charge to hopefully get some serious points on the board here, and a really good performance. Levi in that final podium position now as they come down into turn 1. Any moves up the inside? I'm not sure if there's going to be now. The gap obviously expected to be cut down. No moves up the inside, but a better exit is going to be expected from Farina. Now going into this long straight as expected. Anyone going to try and go for a move up the inside? I'm not sure. Farina going to use the slipstream. There's Farizan now up the inside of Levi. Going side by side in this chink. There could be a reaction though, but the slipstream for Farizan is going to be stronger because he's got a car ahead of him as well. So Farizan, I think, has already got the move done there, but Levi's going to have a better exit expected. And he's going to put, you can see already the glows in that gap now. More slipstream for Levi, but Farizan will have slipstream as well now. Will Levi look to go back up the inside now? He's already looking exactly the same as what Hunter did. It's difficult to overtake there. You want to really overtake into this corner as you can get more speed now. Levi up the inside, later on the brakes now up the inside, and it's nicely done. And these two are going to continue to squabble positions as a teammates. They're doing a very good job at keeping it clean, but being mean at the same time here. And no Farina Hunter overtakes there as well. So yeah, we might be able to see what's happened down the latter stages of the pack as well in a second if we look on the minimap. Gomez in 10th at the moment, no changes there. McClary's in 8th as expected, as previously seen. Gamba has just lost out of position there to Banks, so moving up to 12th, so good fight through the pack from Banks at the moment. Glazebrook down there as well. Lopez in 14th, in 16th. Greenwood in 17th. Grant dropped now to 18th position as well. Quiles in 20th, and De Barros rounding out after that silly little pitiful mistake that has cost him a top 10 performance at the moment and possible points if he would have played his cards right. So yeah, now coming now into the end of lap 8, going on to lap 9, the battle will continue. Let's see if Farizan, Levi, Farina, and Hunter can continue this battle, and maybe we'll have a squabble and some changes for the race lead as we come now down this long straight where the overtaking has been crucial. Could be clever though here from Farina. If they play their cards right, back off. Don't go for the move just yet. Just stay in the slipstream, and then in the second braking zone, go for the overtake. Then break the slipstream. And that's been working so far for defensive. Hunter has been more than happy to let him have the first overtake and then just take him up on the second one. This is the crucial one. Better exit out of that corner, and it does look like Farina is already on the back of him now. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to close up in time though. just getting in that slipstream, needs a little bit more speed now. In 7th gear, just going to make it. I'm not sure going to have time. Hunter defends there, and there's no move from Farizan or Levi. So at the moment, Hunter seemingly has better straight line speed, even though there is slipstream for Farina in the car behind. So you'd maybe expect there to be a bit more than this at the moment. But so far, really good work from Hunter, who has done a good enough job at the moment to warrant a race win at the moment. He's done a really good job at holding off his rivals behind him, who have been on his tail pretty much since the start of the race. He had a really good start. As we saw though, he did get overtaken, but come fighting back, done a really good job, and has held it off nicely now. But you can see Farina does get some slipstream, but hasn't got enough speed there to make it into the corner. So now coming through this tight section, going to be on lap 10 shortly with just 5 laps remaining. Hunter looking to hold it off, but you can see how close they are here now. This could be interesting. If he goes for a move up the inside, we've seen cars go off here. So one of these cars, if a move is made up the inside, which you'd assume would be Hunter, will be going off if he hasn't got the balls to hold it there and do well. Look, is Farina going to go up the inside? I'm not sure. Hunter defends up the inside. No one goes for the move there. So much closer though with 5 laps remaining. Much closer from Farina and Hunter. Let's see if Farina can break the slipstream and get past. Right on the back of Hunter there now, up the inside. Easily past, but it's this second sector. Not this part. They're not even past yet, but it's probably more than likely going to be. And there it is. You can see now just braking a little bit later. And it's nicely done. So, yeah, let's have a hope that will Hunter be able to get back in there, or will the slipstream be broken? Hunter seemingly has a better exit already. Up there now, going to look for the inside. Is Hunter? There he goes. The same position. He's done it every time. Has been very consistent there. Done a very solid job. No battles in the background, and Hunter back up the inside. And Farina, I'm sorry, but it's naivety. It's poor driving from Farina. Clearly has the pace, but just hasn't really learnt from their mistakes, and hasn't understood that they need to be evolving in this situation to try and overtake and can have a race victory. And that's really the difference between Hunter. Hunter has the experience seemingly, and has done a very good job so far, whereas Farina seems to be quite naive in the situation they're in at the moment. And you can see that the gap hasn't really changed, and the cars behind haven't gained while they've been squabbling. Obviously with the braking zones, there's no real dirty air in these situations. The only time you can really lose is going into the final sector. And from that, there's not really been any time lost. And you can see Hunter's being very clever with his defensive moves. You know, he's making his one defensive move and just keep breaking the slipstream at the perfect time. They can't go for the move at the inside. And you can see, look how close Farina gets into this tight section through the corners. Hunter may have set up the car just to be straight line heavy, whereas Farina has got a good mix, but there's not enough corners, and there's no real cornering sections. I mean, you can gain all the time you want here, but if you can't break that slipstream and get past, then there's nothing really gained from it. But will Farina make a move at the inside here now as regards to lap 11 with 4 laps remaining? Hunter defends nicely. Up the inside maybe? No, just backs out a bit there at the last minute. Levi doing a very good job there at holding off the championship leader for P3. Doing a really solid workout at the moment to hold on to this though. Farina up the inside much earlier this time. Well, they're going side by side, and you can see there, without the slipstream, Hunter seriously has some great pace, and is holding off nicely. The best thing for Farina here would be Hunter going around the outside. Oh, questionable move there from Farina. Cut across there, but Hunter's going to have a much better exit here anyway. I think they was trying to break the slipstream there, but Hunter has got a fantastic exit there, and it's not even a question of if, when, or maybe. It's just happening already. Farina tried something different, had to go for it. It's a recurring theme, doesn't have the slipstream gap, and Hunter at the moment is my money, you know. Yes, he's being overtaken, and yes, they're battling squat constantly, but Hunter is really doing a good job. And that's actually brought Levi in the background. If you see there, Farina is in desperate trouble as Levi is actually coming into this. So Hunter may have the gap on the Farina, but we don't know what Levi or Farizan are offering at the moment. So here we go now. They're much closer. Levi looking to be closer there. So let's see if they got the straight line sprint there, Levi. It's a decent little exit just on the curb. They're going to get the traction down. The gap has come down by 9/10 of a second there, so that's quite a significant gap. And I'm not sure if Levi's going to make a move up the inside here. No move there, so it's just going to continue. Maybe there'll be a move up the inside of turn 1. We might see Levi struggle, you know. And oh, look, Farizan really does have the pace. So Levi showing that, you know, not just holding up his teammate at the moment, doing a really good job at keeping up with the genuine pace. Farizan just seems to be clinching on due to slipstream and straight line speed at the moment. So no real, I mean, if they weren't squabbling, I dare say just general pace, Farizan probably wouldn't be up there. But now Levi is going to have to take advantage of this slipstream. But Farina's going to also look to make a move. You can see Farizan is kind of out of this, so it's a three-way scrap for the lead with 3 laps remaining. 3 cars, 3 laps with a 4th car just on the edge there. So 1 per lap, we might be losing a car out of this squabble. Let's have a look then. Is there going to be any move at the inside? Doesn't look like Farina is on the back of Hunter. So maybe the second straight is where they're going to try and do it. If they get a better exit out of this this second set of corners, turns 2, 3 and 4, it could be a crucial move. But Levi is on the tail there, so he needs to make sure that this is a crucial little part of the track. Now, is there a better exit from Farina? It doesn't look like it. Hunter has got the straight line speed, and if he... no matter what happens, he just seems to have the straight line speed down this section and better traction out the corners, which is costing Farina at this moment a race victory. Had the better one-lap pace and was set the fastest lap of the race at one point after, obviously, Farizan. So you can see throughout the rest of this pack now what's going on, and you can see a squabble going on. We'll have a continued look at what's happening, but obviously the battle up top is the talking point at the moment. 3 cars now battling. We might actually see an overtake happen here now. 3 abreast maybe. Going to go for it. I'm unsure. No, they've just all backed out of it there, but that was a really nice little squabble there to show off some really good talent. 3 drivers close to each other. Oh, I don't mind if we do. Cars 1, 2 and 3 in this current battle for the race victory. Really good battling going on here. Very good race. And at this point, with just a few laps remaining, quickly now down below, give this racing a rating out of 10. I'm at the moment going to give it a 9.2. I think it's been really, really good. It's been battling for the lead as well. It's been a really fun race. And driver of the day, well, I think it would go for me at the moment, whoever wins out of this battle of 3. I think Hunter's been very tactically brilliant. I think he's done a really, really good job and is warranting himself a top tier place maybe next season, and maybe even a contender for the championship if Farizan doesn't get his act together and maybe get some podium here. This has been a really poor performance, but 4th position isn't a bad showing for the championship leader. Off is Queenland now in 16th. Who else has gone off? Anyone else gone off? Oh, the 2 laps remaining. There's a wheel gone. That looks like it's going into turns. Oh, you can see on the map there, going into the final penultimate corners there, Queenland there, losing control. So have a look, Glazebrook up the inside, Queenland just cutting across there, little clip there, and both cars have gone off. Seems to be just poor driving from both. We'll have to get another replay of that though, but I'm unsure whose fault that is. We'll have to leave that, have a look at the investigation maybe. So going across, just cut across there, and you can see there, Queenland just cuts him off. There's not much the ART driver can do. Queenland poor driving, maybe just a passenger for the Glazebrook guy, but I'm not sure. Queenland maybe, I'm unsure as to whose fault that is. Looks more like a racing incident, but Queenland quite easily could have backed off there and could have just continued to, battle side by side. Wasn't really needed the cut off at that position. He wasn't going to get past him anyway, but the ART is able to keep going, I believe. But here's Hunter. He's now into 2nd place. Hunter has dropped into 2nd place down this sector. We know he gets great traction out this corner on the penultimate lap now. As they're going to go down there, can Farina, for the first time, hold on to this position going into this next set of corners? Hunter looks like he's broken the slipstream gap there. Doesn't look like Hunter's going to make a move up the inside. Is Hunter going to make a move up the inside? Late on the braking, Farina cuts him off, and Farina holds the race lead now. Going into this section corner, but has actually got it awfully wrong there. Multiple braking moves there, so Farina questionable defending. I would think Hunter will be a little bit annoyed with that there. Farina getting desperate and getting a bit rational. Has Glazebrook now has pulled up and lost a wheel, so I dare say there's something going on there. We'll maybe see a replay, but we want to see the battle for the lead at the moment, not what's happening with this slow moving ART car with just 2 laps remaining. Probably will classify there, down in 20th and out, moving up his teammate 1 position, so I dare say they'll be happy with that. And 19th and 20th at this moment in time for the ART boys is not ideal, but Farina being tactical there, a little bit dirty, but you sometimes get them situations. Let's see what happens here with the ART. Coming into the pits, it seems, and just gets on the grass and loses the wheel. So let's have a look there. No traction. Comes into the pits and oh, very strange. So some reason missed the pits and just drove into the wall. Very interesting there. So unsure what happened. Maybe there was an issue with the throttle and lost control of the car. I'm not sure about that situation actually. So get another look. Looks to enter the pits. Shakes it about. Maybe something, I don't know, maybe some oil. We'll have to wait for the team's decision on what happened there. It looked a bit strange and some poor driving maybe, but yeah, both Queenland and Glazebrook involved in that incident are at this Grand Prix, but the stewards more than likely look at it now. Hunter holding on to the back of Farina as we're going to look for the overtake that got him into the race win. Now going into the first corner of the penultimate lap now. Just gets a better exit out of that corner. It's going to be a simple overtaking move up the inside that's got them up into this position, Farina. And then that questionable defensive move, which I think, if I'm honest, will need to be investigated by the stewards because I think that was dirty. Cutting across there at such a late point, under braking, we know is illegal after the Max Verstappen Act was brought into play, as we'll probably see it coming down here into this corner. You'll see it from Hunter's POV, much better than Farina's, so let's have a look. Coming down now into this long stretch of track. Hunter, look at that slipstream. As we mentioned earlier, he has fantastic slipstream. Goes up the inside, and then Farina just cuts across and then follows. You know, multiple defensive movers, maybe. I'm not sure. It looked much worse from the third-person point of view than it did originally. Now, as they're battling side by side, continuing, Hunter now has Levi up his around his outside, so Hunter now starting to struggle, and Farina's starting to pull away. So Hunter maybe have gone from first position to some poor defending, dropping down there. As we're going to get another replay of what happens here. So side by side they go. I don't know why we're getting a replay of this now. We're seeing it live, but go side by side now, going into the hairpin. The grandstand will go wild, but Hunter holds on to this as we go on to the final lap of the Grand Prix for the final time, going into that dreaded turn 1 that's caused so many crashes, and it's been a really good race so far, this has, and we've seen some really top quality racing, so it's all good to see. Some questionable driving, of course, as expected with these situations, but it's been a really good race. So let's have a look now on the final lap. Hunter having to defend from Levi. Farizan, his championship rival, will be very pleased at the moment of what's happening ahead of him, as Hunter seemingly has bottled this race win. Levi now going to look to go for that move, but we know Hunter has been exceptional throughout this race in this stretch of track, and his slipstream has done a really good job. And for me, I'd say still maybe a driver of the day, but Farina doing a solid piece of work there to hold on to the race lead. Now there goes Hunter up the inside, but Farizan's going to get a really good exit. So Farizan could be a danger here. For Hunter has had really good exits now. Let's see if he can get this. But no, he seems to have broken the slipstream. And Farizan is going to look for the upside, up the inside. So Farizan's going to maybe steal a podium off Hunter here. Let's see what Hunter can do now as they go down this long stretch now. Hunter needs to be late on the brakes there. Unable to do so. Farizan brakes later and gets the move done, but seems to be a little bit deeper. Hunter's going to get a better exit out of this corner now. Needs to get a really good slipstream and traction out there. Not sure if he's done it though. Farizan is called away, so it seems like the Hunter has gone from first to fourth in just a few laps time and has been costly there, and it's been a one move from Farina has just set him off the path, and that is now maybe, just maybe, put Hunter out of this race, out of this contention for a podium. He might be able to get it into this last long stretch here, but don't think he had the pace really, but it was that straight line speed that was holding him up there and doing such a solid job for him. But maybe his tyres have just come off there, and maybe he was just unable to keep up with there. But today, seemingly at the moment, is going to be Luca Farina's day, doing a solid job and has done a really good showing, and is looking likely for Italy and the Arden team to be getting a race victory here at Hockenheim as they come through the final two corners. Today's day has been a fantastic Grand Prix, and we look forward to the later Grand Prix, but for now we celebrate Luca Farina's Grand Prix victory, and he wins the German Grand Prix from Lucas Levi, Rick Farizan, Robert Hunter in 4th position, unlucky for him. Patrick Zhu has in 5th. Molnar, he's in 6th position for the Ocean Grand Prix team. William Duncan, he's in 7th position, and running out that top 8 is Mario McClary. Then it's Gomez, Fingai in 10th position, Gamba in 11th, just across from there with Rossi 12th, Lopez 13th. 14th is Sasha Banks, Grant in 15th position. 16th position will be Duncan Greenwood. 17th position will be Michael Vortiger. In 18th position will be Kieles, and 19th position will be Bruno de Barros, with Glazebrook, Queenland and Perizgoda rounding out the top cars there, who have all gone off the track and DNF'd. So that is it then. Race over. Luca Farina wins, and let's have a look at the classification. It was Luca Farina from Lucas Levi in 2nd position, Rick Farizan in 3rd, Robert Hunter 4th, Patrick Zhu has Molnar, Duncan and McClary making the top 8, 14 seconds just separating them lot. Then we have Gomez in 9th, Fingai 10th, Franco Gamba in 11th, Mario Rossi 12th, 13th was Franco Lopez, 12th was Sasha Banks. 14th was Sasha Banks. 15th was Sean Grant. David Greenwood was 16th. Michael Vortiger 17th. Kieles 18th. De Barros 19th. And then the DNFs were Glazebrook, Queenland and Perizgoda for the Arden team. So let's have a look then, shall we, who took the fastest lap. I believe it was Rick Farizan who took the fastest lap for the Grand Prix here, and was a very positive performance. So it was Rick Farizan 1.39 seconds or 1 minute 46.296. Following there, you can see now as we scroll down from Farina, Gamba and Juhas, Lucas Levi, Molnar, Rossi 7th, Hunter in 8th, sorry. So that's you can see they're not great pace. 9th was Glazebrook who DNF'd. Gomez in 10th making the top 10. Greenwood, then Lopez, Grant, Banks, De Barros in 15th. 16th was Duncan McClary in 17th. 18th was Queenland. 19th was Fingai. Then Quiles 20th, Volker in 21st, and Daniel Frisgoda 11 seconds off the pace in 22nd. So let's have a look at the championship standings, shall we? In the top step, as expected, Rick Farizan extends his championship lead over Hunter after that last-minute drama that could have seen him hold on to that precious little gap. Hunter's in second with 32, Gamba on 19 is very close there. So 19 for Gamba, Lopez on 18, Juhas on 18, Farian on 16, McClary on 16. Then you have Greenwood on 13, Queenland on 11, Levi on 11 as well. And then Gomez on 9, just 10 points separate 11 from third. Very tight from then on, actually, from De Barros, Molnar, Macamo, Glazebrook, Fingai and Gran. All of them just separated by 5 points from 11th to 17th. Greenwood and Vortiga on 2 points. They round out on the points. And the only guys not to have scored points are Sasha Banks, Mario Rossi, Quiles and Pires Goda. Obviously with Pires Goda now replacing previous driver who has now left the series. Constructors Championship. Adax lead the championship on 67 from Trident Racing on 41. 10 points behind them are Racing Engineering with Arden in 4th. Dams on 21, just 1 point behind Arden. PK on 18, FMS on 16, ART on 13, iSports on 11 and Oceans on 10 are just 8 points separating 6th from 10th. And then on last position are Supernova Racing with 7th. All teams scoring points, of course. So that has been it then for the Grand Prix here at Hockenheim. It's been a fantastic Grand Prix and congratulations to Luca Farina. Please down below tell me who your driver of the day is, what your favourite moment was and what you'd give this racer rating out of 10. Once again, my name is Will Oliver. I do apologise for last week's issues, but we were back here today. So if you have enjoyed, leave a like down below, subscribe to Yuri's channel, and I will see you guys very, very soon for some more GP2 action. And until then, take care.